Hey guys, I'm Tyrone from the Young Cynics, and today I thought I'd talk about the Harry Potter films, and more specifically the Goblet of Fire. Now, the Harry Potter franchise is dead, let's get that straight. Both Fantastic Beasts films are boring messes, and The Cursed Child might just be the most ridiculously over-convoluted story in history. It's like J.K. Rowling saw how badly George Lucas fucked up his own creation, and she's continuously trying to one-up that. But we're not here to talk about how these other ones are garbage. We're here to talk about the main 8 films. Now, if you're like me, you'll prefer the first 4 films to the last 4. Simply because I think that Mark Yates is like a soft wholemeal bread of directors. His films all have an ugly, dark look to them. The film gets bogged down in teen melodrama. The action scenes are all shot with terrible shaky cams, and he insists on using crane camera shots in a way that is just wrong. The world doesn't seem as magical as it did in the first films due to the colour palette on the screen. The characters often try to communicate in long, awkward stares, which is fine when it's a 12-year-old looking at his sinister teacher, but not so much when it is a 20-year-old looking at his weirdo best mate. I find Nicholas Hooper and Alexander Desplat's scores to be often dull and lifeless compared to that of John Williams and Patrick Doyle, but we'll get to this film's score later. So now that I've narrowed it down to 4 films, well really 3, let's talk about why the 4th one is my favourite. I'll do a review of the film and then tell you why I think it's the best in the franchise, and I'll just list off some things right now that make this film really great. Robert Pattinson. The guy's a great actor. Take everything he's been in. Except that! Get the fuck out of here, you normie! And he's often the best part of the film he's in. See Good Time, The Lighthouse, High Life, Water for Elephant, and I can't wait to see his new Batman film. But when he's given a good script and a great director, the guy really turns it on. He's awesome in The Lighthouse, and by the looks of it, he
shines like a minx.
The guy has a terrific range. And here he's really sympathetic. He's just a genuine nice guy. He's the kid in school everyone wants to be friends with, and he's perfectly cast here. I just wish he got more to do in this film, but he's kind of pushed aside until the 3rd act. Did I mention he's probably got a huge cock? Daniel Radcliffe. The guy's not a great actor, but here he's at his best. He actually does pretty good in the dramatic scenes. He really does a good job portraying the awkward nature of it as well. My theory is that scenes like this, he'd never done stuff like this before. And it's so good because it's a bit more real compared to when he has to do the scenes like this in the later movies. But he's actually a really believable action star here as well. Even if he does do that stupid thing with his mouth a lot. Emma Watson. Even though I don't think she's a great actress here, I can't deny she's really good. I just think that her and Dan Radcliffe have a chemistry that's really electric compared to what she did with Rupert Grint. Like, I know all the Harry Potter fans lost their shit when J.K. Rowling said Hermione should have ended up with Harry, but after this movie, it was kind of a natural progression for the two. Now Hermione ends up with Ron, while Harry ends up with the charisma void. Ralph Fiennes. He's in this movie for about 5 minutes, but he's so great. He chews up the scenery and has fun with it. His movements are so reptilian, the makeup is fantastic, and the guy's got charisma in buckets. It's just a shame that he only got about 10 minutes combined in the next 3 films. Brendan Gleeson. Another great actor having fun with what he's given. He might be taking the piss sometimes, but seriously, who in their right mind would take these films seriously?
Best do live in us forever, so whether you come back by page or by the big screen, Hogwarts will always be there.
Oh. The eye looks cool, and he plays a guy as another guy really well, and it's very subtle in that element. This score is perfect for Harry Potter, especially one with a tone like this. I mean, just listen to the title alone. That gives you chills. It has great heroic pieces, little motifs for characters, great moments to accompany stunning visuals, and takes cool new twists on the classic themes. Tonal balance. In a movie where you have scenes like this, contrasting with scenes like this, the film strikes a great balance. No scene change ever feels too drastically different to the previous one. It takes its time to build into the dark tone, and when you get to the final task, everything feels bleak despite the celebratory nature of everyone in the crowd. Special effects. I'm not going to go too much into this because a giant CGI spectacle doesn't do anything for me anymore. But for a movie that came out in 2005, oh damn, the special effects are great. The underwater scene aside, like that shark looks awful in the signs and this terrible moment. But the dragon, the Quidditch World Cup, the Dark Mark, the maze. Did I mention the dragons? You can tell that this is where all of the effort was put in. The details and characteristics of the dragons are absolutely breathtaking. Real life comparisons. The high school drama is the best thing in this film for me. Like, the ball is actually part of the story without feeling like a massive subversion from the main plot. In the other films, the romance is always annoyingly forced and it's never that entertaining to watch, just awkward. Stuff like this is a million times better than all the terrible relationship drama in The Half-Blood Prince. The way it manages to mix high school drama with the fucked up world they're in, lines like this are so great.
Tell me, Harry, you say dragons. If you can't get a date, you can.
I think I take the dragon right now.
And watching these kids start to have feelings for others is actually really funny and interesting to watch. And then Mark Yates ruined it. But let's get to the actual movie and why it's so great. So we get those opening titles and once again the music, damn it's good. The intro is really great, the lighting and suspense of the scene really pulls you in and sets up the adventure ahead. Compared to the first two where it's just an awkward bit of slapstick comedy to get the film set up, the film right from the get-go has a great energy as well. I love this down low shot revealing the port key, the setting of the Quidditch World Cup is a great design, however the exposition here is pretty bad. I'd also like to have seen a bit more of the match, but I do get that it would have hurt the pacing of the film and wouldn't really have added much to the plot.
Sounds like the Irish you got their pride on.
Stop! Stop it! It's not the Irish.
Oh my God! What? The dead man has risen! Undertaker's here!
Right here is an appropriate use of shaky cam. You don't get a real sense of where they are amongst the pandemonium. No shot is flat, taking all of these angles and quick cuts and successfully adding tension and chaos to the scene. Then we get this film's sore thumb, David Tennant. He's a fine actor, but here the choices he makes are just odd.
Thank you.
Anything sweet for you, dear?
Ah, very funny. Look, there's a level of guilty pleasure when it comes to this strange writing in the Harry Potter franchise, but look, J.K. Rowling made an incredible world. The stories are mostly the same, which is why I like this one so much, but her dialogue, it's never been good. It's never thoughtful or fascinating like in other big franchises, like in Star Wars or Lord of the Rings. So they get to the night and we are introduced to the Triwizard Tournament, and then the other two schools come to compete. Nothing like sexualizing 17-year-old girls! Harry, you horny bastard. The big Hungarian boys come through and I love the small touch of having the trace of the staff, and that shot of Crumb emerging and Ron's reaction is so awesome. Also the shot of Moody arriving at Hogwarts, it's so sinister and iconic, I just love it.
What side he's drinking, do you suppose?
A little bit of the bubbly.
Why was this shot of Karkaroff necessary as well? It's never touched on again, like, why did he go in there all sinister like? Was it just a red herring for the audience? Also, Moody, or whatever he appears to be, is such a cool teacher. I'd rather watch a guy kill a spider than watch my classmate's face get burnt up. Ah! And also, I love the moment of the killing curse. The camera shifts focus to Harry. It's brilliant. And this scene, the score, the lighting, Michael Gambon and Alan Rickman's performance just makes this moment so fantastic. And Rupert Grint's look of disgust at the end is really good as well. Also, the notion that this ruins Dumbledore's character is silly. Doesn't really make him less mysterious. He yells out all the time before, telling people to get away or anything like that. I also love the shot of them all turning to Harry. It's just this fucking poor kid and he's just like, ah shit. Why me? Can't I catch a fucking break? Also, I love the scene with Harry and Ron. Ron's frustration with Harry being the chosen one and getting all the glory coming to a head. Seeing himself as merely a sidekick, and I love the little piss off he gives. It's so real and something people actually say to finish an argument.
This is cozy.
Pedophilia. Also, these questions, they sound like they were written by Ron.
Any of your parents, were they alive? How do you think they'd feel? Proud or concerned that your attitude shows at best a pathological need for attention?
So Harry Potter gets the avian flu, and then we get a nice little exposition dump / recap, but it's done in a cool visual way that I don't really care.
You're probably just practicing for your next interview, I expect.
Ooh, juicy!
Please don't ask me to say it again. Hagrid's looking for you.
Well, you can tell Ronald.
I'm not an owl!
Zing it, girl!
Shut the hell up!
You'll be glad you came. Trust me.
That's what she said!
Damn, those dragons look fantastic. The practical fire jets as well, they have really built up that fear for what's to come. The badge stuff here is pretty juvenile. Also, what the hell is this? Either way, this guy should be headed to Azkaban for less than he eventually does. He puts Malfoy down another student's pants. What does that classify as? This scene before the first task is so great. This is why I feel Harry and Hermione should have ended up together. They have great chemistry. Hermione's genuinely horrified for him, while Ron is being a whiny bitch while his best mate is about to go fight a fucking dragon. Lighten up, prick! Also, Crumb is a bad actor. I don't know what else to say here.
You have no business here. This tent is for champions and friends.
I love the minor montage here. The music is so epic and the shots are so simple as he heads out. It's got just such a great gladiator feel to it all. And then the music cuts before we get to see this glorious son of a bitch. And I love the scene like this of the protagonist getting trapped in a closed area with a massive enemy bearing down on them. This shot is fantastic. I love that a dragon basically has free reigns over Hogwarts. The chase is fantastic. It's got some of the most iconic imagery in Harry Potter. He gets the egg. And now Dickhead over here wants back in because Harry's in everyone's good books.
After you figured that out.
Who could possibly figure that out? That's completely mental.
Yeah, isn't it? I suppose I was a bit distraught.
I do love this moment with Hermione indicating that everyone was listening in on their stupid reconciling. And then right here is when the movie hits its fucking stride. It turns into a great high school comedy within the school. It's just awkward to watch and it's fantastic. It's something relatable and real. And this line is so brilliant.
Tell me, Harry, you say dragons. If you can't get a date, you can.
I think I'll take the dragon right now.
Mixing real life scenarios with the magical world they are in. Also, I love Harry's face when Crumb walks past. And when Ron asks Hermione out, it's funny as. And then I love how Snape gets a cheap shot in at Harry. This one's for your dad. Also, Cedric is a giant cockblock. The one chick that Harry's interested in. Look at all the other girls he hangs out with. And he picks the one that is 2 years younger than him in a different house. And coincidentally the one his rival is interested in. The moment of Hermione walking down the stairs has also become iconic. It's like she's become a woman. But the giggle at the end still indicates that she's freaking out. But the age gap between Crumb, who is 18, and Hermione, who is 14, like...
I don't think it was the books that had him going to the library.
Harry, you can't be saying that.
I think he's got a bit more than friendship on his mind.
Ron, you can't be saying that.
Where have you been? Never mind, off to bed, both of you.
Daniel Radcliffe's acting is also so good in this little moment. He's just trying to be a good friend to both of them, but he just gets caught in the crossfires.
Victor's more of a physical being.
Hermione, you can't be saying that. Also, Victor sounds like a fucking creep. Also love this moment.
How are you? Spectacular.
Cedric's just a cool dude. He cares about Harry and probably considers them friends more than Harry does. Also, when he goes into the bathtub, does it count if a ghost stays 14 or whatever? Or is it creepy that we've technically got a 50-something-year-old perving on a naked 14-year-old boy? The underwater scene looks pretty alright, but some of the CGI it's pretty bad. The creatures look straight out of a video game, and Victor looks like Maui at this point.
Flan have got past the Grandilos.
Hermione, you goddamn racist.
Still, life goes on. And here we stand.
Here's what I mean by bad dialogue. Old Hitler mustache over here. I do like the scene of the politics of the wizarding world and how their justice system is run very similar to ours, but David Tennant then ruins it with his bizarre performance again. So we get to the final challenge and what? So they fill out a whole arena for the first one, but for the final challenge they can only get up to about 4 sections. But anyways, I love the setup of the scene, the music, Michael Gamber's performance as they head in. But yeah, that score is brilliant. The revealing shot of the maze is incredible, the intense nature of the scene as well. Unfortunately for Fleur, she gets taken out pretty early, making you wonder if she was really the best choice for this competition. The running through the maze is great and frantic. The music and the atmosphere constantly building, and the moment where Harry decides to save Cedric is a fantastic little character moment. And I honestly would have found it fascinating if he went for the cup and didn't save Cedric. And then that climax, the way the scene escalates with the murder of Cedric. Then it rebuilds up again with the rebirth of Voldemort. The slow sadistic nature of the scene, some of it being quite unsettling for a young audience. The reveal of Voldemort, the excellent CGI and makeup combination. And Ralph Fiennes' performance is so menacing and sinister. And this shot here of him coming out to confront Voldemort, it's so badass. Although the wand duel it's really lame. It's a cool way to internalize conflict, but unlike a lightsaber or sword fight or something, where the characters can get up close and move around and fight, they just stand there pointing their wands at each other. They can't talk to each other. We get a nice little moment with Harry and his parents distracting Voldemort, Harry escaping, where we see a fantastic scene where the emotions quickly switch from triumphant to horrified. The reveal of Moody being Crouch is great, Brendan Gleeson really selling the madness, and the confrontation is a really terrific payoff for everything that has been slowly built up throughout the film. However, David Tennant is still making those weird faces like he's a literal snake. The ending of the film though is perfect. It's sad, it's somber, but there's hope for the future even though Voldemort is back. The final shot is beautiful and so is the music. So why do I think this film is the best Harry Potter films? I'll just list off these same things I've reiterated. The emotional conflict between the characters, the score, the actors give their best performances, the actions are all mostly great and intense. Some of the cinematography is iconic. The final third of this film is perfection, along with the high school comedy element of the second act. So let me know what your favourite Harry Potter film is. I've also begun outlining a pitch for a 9th Harry Potter installment about 10 years after the events of Deathly Hallows Part 2. However, this might take a while because of other stuff I've got going on. But please subscribe to The Young Cynics. Please check out these other videos, and until next time, bye!